Thank you very much. I'm glad to be here. I heard that IHWE was doing the Hall of Fame, and David Fuller invited me down. I instantly was excited to come down between Minneapolis these days, and I just want to share a few things with you. First of all, IHWE, I want to say to David Fuller, kudos to him for carrying forth the tradition of not only IHWE wrestling, but really Texas wrestling and Dallas-Fort Worth wrestling. We need someone who's remembering the past as well as looking forward to the future. And, David Fuller, David Farmer, Texas Bad Boy Vengeance, whatever name he's using this minute. Like he said, him and his group, they were just a bunch of high school kids at the time. Of course, now they're pushing 30. The rest of us are pushing a little bit more than that. But, they had no respect. A lot of people thought they didn't take them very seriously. And they were looking to get involved in the wrestling business. So, since they couldn't get involved in the wrestling business directly, they said, hey, why don't we just start doing our own thing? And they started running their own shows. They started getting a lot of the guys who were on the regular circuit to come out to their shows. And one of my memories is, I remember talking to Kid Carson backstage at a show. When we were talking about IHWE, the kid said, hey, I went out to the show, I brought my son, we had a good time, it was a family affair, and it was very enjoyable. And I said, hey, that's the spirit of IHWE then, and really even now. It's just carrying on the wrestling tradition, it's fun. All the families were involved, everybody was very friendly, there was no competition. It wasn't the, if you work for us, you can't work for these other guys, or if you work for the other guys, you can't work for us kind of shenanigans that always goes on, with all the big multi-million-dollar contracts everybody had. They didn't want them going from place to place. But, I give it up for Vengeance League before for keeping this thing rolling and for carrying on the tradition of Texas wrestling. Two other quick things, just a couple memories I also have. I remember one time on a Halloween show at NWA Southwest at the Texas Indoor Arena. It was Team Extreme from the barbed wire borough of Deep Ellum, Texas. I came out, trying to be a jokester, wearing on Halloween a Stone Cold Steve Austin full head mask and pretending I was Stone Cold Steve Austin. And those guys came out and gave me a little business in the ring, put me down, and made me part of the show. And that's one of my great memories of wrestling, Kit Carson. And I really appreciate that. And that was a great moment in my, career, if you call it that, doing wrestling announcing. I also remember one other that Rob Moore may remember. I remember after, everyone remember, now everybody's friends, and, at some point everybody's kind of hated everybody. But in the end, we all, love wrestling, and that's the most important thing. But at the time, you couldn't work for NWA Southwest and TCW because, that just wasn't allowed. So I got let go from NWA Southwest, but occasionally, since I know the guys and stuff, I'd come and hang out or whatever. So I come on some random Friday. I came to the show, and I came in, and Ken Taylor's at the door, taking the money, and I'm paying. He's like, Johnny T, what are you doing here? I'm just like, I just came to watch the show. And it's kind of weird because I've been to the show after he let me go a few times. It was no big deal. I see Rob Moore in the crowd. I'm like, hey, Rob, what's going on? I do Rob. And all of a sudden, in the middle of the show, Richard Hunter was the announcer, and they run some angle where, I forget exactly what it was, but essentially there was some angle where Richard Hunter was like the rogue announcer, and Rob, and they called for some announcer to come like out of the stands to be the new NWA Southwest announcer. And then I knew why Ken Taylor was wondering why I was there. He probably thought I was going to be like some rogue guy coming in and heard what was going on and was going to hop in the ring. But then that's when Rob Moore became the NWA Southwest announcer, and I just happened to be there. But I was glad I was there because Rob Moore has been one of the finest wrestling announcers, in the history of Texas wrestling. Has really carried the torch in the last 15 years. But as a final word, I just want to say there's a lot of great wrestling talent here tonight, and for me, I've got great respect for all the guys who stepped in the ring and put on the wrestling show. To be acknowledged as a wrestling announcer, is really great for me because a wrestling announcer is just someone in the background to kind of keep the show rolling and kind of enhance what's going on. But what's really going on is the wrestlers in the ring. So my hat's off to all the talent in the ring, and I really appreciate being able to be a small part of what you guys brought to the Texas wrestling scene. Thank you very much.